Hi, this is Chris from Grinding Gear Games. So, I promised I'd make a video showing what Path of Exile looked like 5 years ago, and that's not what you're seeing right now. This is actually the modern version. So, the reason I wanted to show you this footage first is because it actually contains the same tile set that is about to be shown in the footage of the old version 020 back from 2008. So this is what we used to call the Inca Ruins tile set. That's currently basically the Val Ruins in-game. And there are some elements here, like this hole in the ground, that have water in them, which are actually very similar to the ones used in that old version. So I figured I'd show some footage of this first, both to reassure you the game actually does look nice in the modern version, and also so that you can see how far that particular tile set has come in the last 5 years or so. Welcome to Path of Exile 020 from late 2008. I'm going to log in, select my character. So this is the game world. Welcome to the Grinding Grotto, I guess, which is the name of the test area that we had at the time. The Ranger's run animation has come a long way since then. We've also increased the resolution of the shadow buffer. As you can see, it's pretty blocky underneath the character. Some of the art assets that we used in this early version are still in use today, like the bone piles, for example, and I think we have sarcophaguses in some form. So this has dropped an Executioner helmet, which I can pick up. I don't have enough strength or dexterity for it, but you do get a chance to check out the awesome user interface that we had back in 2008. Some of the fundamentals are similar. You can look at the stats of the items. We had a flask system working. Hopefully I'll find some monsters to fight. This version is pretty unstable, so combat crashes it quite readily. And here we've got some monsters. So I'm going to kill my first zombie. They kind of drift to sleep when they die, floating to the ground. Using the power of the doorway to protect me, of course. Due to the fact that we don't have any skills in this version, it's pretty much just single attack, and that takes away a lot of the interest in making the combat cool. So here we have a Scroll of Wisdom and a Flask stacked on top of each other because we didn't have a layout code for the item hoppers. I'll pick those up and equip my flask. This here is a fountain, which is actually what we used to have to fill flasks, and we had them spread throughout the levels. This didn't really work as a mechanic because it generally meant that people pulled all the monsters to the fountain and then fought next to that. The white that you see in the background here is actually fog that goes down some holes that are in the terrain. I'm not going to go this way because of the zombies. I'll see if I can find an example of a fog hole. More zombies. There's holes like this, some of them have fog in, that are quite deep. We were so proud of this version of the game. I mean, I know it's nothing compared to the more recent versions of Path of Exile, but this is the point where the game was actually playable. You could run around, you could level up, build your character. As you can see, I've got a character screen here, my guy's level 1, and it's calculating my DPS and showing my life and so on. We've also got a passive skill screen, which is very primitive, but it has a little bit of what we have nowadays. You see there's these skills, and it actually allowed us to allocate 5 points in the skills back then rather than just 1, which was a lot more boring, and I think in this version we only bothered to encode 7 skills. They're not even lined up with the circles that we had baked into the background there. But this did work. If you level up, you could put some points in it and improved your character, and we actually spent quite a lot of time playing this. We had some relatively high level 8 or 9 characters that just came from this one level. So I killed a blue monkey, got another Scroll of Wisdom. I don't know why the currency items were green back then. I don't understand the reasoning. I suspect it would confuse people nowadays. Another item that I can't use. I was actually hoping to get like a ceremonial sword or one of the other larger items to show off. And of course the game has crashed. So I guess that marks the end of our demonstration of Path of Exile 020.